Hello guys, I'm Alessio and today we are going to learn how to connect MongoDB Atlas, which is a NoSQL cloud database, to a Telegram bot using Python. First, let's see what we are going to build. As you can see here, we have created a cluster with a database called cluster bot and a collection called products. Don't worry if you don't know how to create this because we will see this further in the video. I already have inserted some products, as you can see, but let's analyze now what we can do with our bot. The first command will be the /insert, and it will be used to insert a new product inside our database. In this command, we need to specify the product name, let's say computer, the quantity, let's say 120, and the status, let's say P. The P status stands for production, but it could also be S for selling or R for recycle, for example. Now, if we send this command to the bot, the product will be correctly inserted inside our database. In fact, if we return to our collection and we refresh our page, the last item inserted will be the one that we have inserted with the bot. In fact, we have the computer, we have the 120 as the quantity, and we have the P as the status. Let's now select all the product inside our collection, and we can do that with the /select command. As you can see, the bot returns the entire list of orders that were present inside our database. In fact, the last product is the one that we have previously inserted with the /insert command. We can also select for specific product name. For example, if we want only the computers inside the collection, we should do /select computer. And as you can see, we have filtered the results. We can also use the /in command, where we can set a specific attribute, let's say the status, and the list of possible values that we want to get, for example, P and R. In this case, we are getting only the products inside our collection that have the state value equal to P or equal to R. Let's now use the /update command. Here we need to specify the ID of the product that we want to update, and then we need to set the new name, the new quantity, and the new status. Let's suppose that we want to change the product with the ID this one, which is the last one that we have inserted. Now we return to our bot, and then we replace the value with the ID that we have copied. Now, the new product name will be, for example, the monitor. Now, the new quantity will be, for example, 4, and the status is, for example, R. Now, if we send our command, the bot says that the product with the specified ID was correctly updated. In fact, if we return to our collection and we refresh our collection, as you will see, the last product that we have inserted is now actually updated. We could also see the changes inside our database by writing again the /select command. In fact, the last product is actually updated. Now, the last command is the /delete ID command, and it will be used to delete a specific product inside our database by giving the ID of that product. In fact, if we want to delete just the last product that we have inserted, we write /delete, we paste the ID, and then we send this command. Now, if we send again the select command, the last product, which was this one, is not actually inside our collection because it was actually deleted. Now, if we refresh our collection, the product is not, of course, inside it. Now let's see how we can create our cluster and our database. Go to the MongoDB site, which is mongodb.com, and then create an account. Once you have done that, a page like this should pop up. So click Build a database, and then you need to select which option suits you best. In our case, we'll select the shared one, so click Create here. Now select the Amazon Web Services and then choose a server near your region. In my case, I will select this one, Frankfurt. In the section below, this one, we can choose the features we are interested in for our cluster. But for the purpose of the video, we are going to leave everything unchanged, and we are only going to change the name of the cluster to clusterbot instead of cluster 0. Once you have done all this, just click Create Cluster. Cluster creation will take a few minutes, but in the meantime, however, we can still add a user who will have access to the cluster. To add a user, we need to go to the Security, Quick Start, and add a username and a password. Now, you can also auto-generate a secure password, and once you have done that, just click Create User. As you can see, I have already created a user, which is called user for bot. Now be sure to save these credentials somewhere because we will need them within the code in a few minutes. Then go to Database Access and check if the role of the user you have just created is admin. Otherwise, click Edit and choose the admin role for this user. Next, go to Network Access and click Add IP address here, so that our computer will have access to the cluster. In the meantime, your database should have been created, so go to the database section and check if it is there. Let's now here click Connect and then choose Connect your application. Then choose the Python driver and the version 3.6 or later. Finally, copy this link here and we are ready to move on to the code. Before writing the code, you need to create a folder on your desktop and inside it create another folder called sessions, a config.ini file and a script.py file. Next, open the folder you created with your preferred editor. In my case, it's Visual Studio Code. The libraries we will need are config parser to import the configurations, Teleton to create the bot, datetime to work with dates, pymongo to manage the NoSQL database we have created, and finally bison, from which we will import the object ID type. If you don't have a specific library, just type pip install and the name of the library in your terminal. Next, open the config.ini file and edit it like this. You must enter the API ID, API hash, and the bot token of your Teleton bot. Then you need to enter the username and password of the user you created inside the cloud. In my case, it was called user for bot, as you can see here. Finally, you need to specify the database name that was clusterbot in my case, and the collection name that in this case will be products. Now, if we return to the script.py file, we just need to get all this information by writing config.get and the name of the field. Finally, just start the Telegram client by specifying the session name, the API ID, the API hash, and the bot token. Now we need to open the connection to our cluster. So return to the MongoDB Atlas, go to Connect, and copy again this link here. Once you have done that, paste it inside your code, as you can see here, and change the username and password like this. and call the Mongo client method by passing the link as a parameter. Finally, write your main function by indexing your cluster with the database name and save the results to a variable called db. Next, use the collection name as an index to the db variable to create a collection called products inside our database. So now if we open our database, a collection called product should be present. Yeah, like this one. Let's analyze now the insert command. Here we need to specify the product name, the quantity, and the status. In line 36, we are saying when the bot receives a message that contains the /insert pattern, then we execute the method called insert. In this method, we get the sender of the message, and then we split the input of the user by the space, just like this. In this list, which is called list of words, the second element will be the product name. The third element will be the quantity, and the fourth element will be the status. We then get the day that this command was executed and create a Python dictionary with all our values inside called postdict. We then call the insert1 method of the products collection by passing the dictionary as a parameter. Lastly, we send a message with the bot. Now, if we open the chat with our bot and then we get /insert computer 70 and then we get the status R, the bot says order correctly inserted. In fact, if we return to our database and we refresh our collection, the order should be present. There it is. Let's analyze now the /select command. As always, we get the sender of the message and we split the input of the user by the space. Now, if the length of the list is greater than 1, the user has also inserted a product name. In fact, we will call the find method by passing the product name to search like this. Otherwise, here, we call the find method with an empty dictionary that will return the entire content of the collection. Now, when we get the results by doing the query, a function called createMessageSelectQuery, that is defined here, will parse the result and create a string that contains all the selected document inside our collection. So, let's try to write the /select command to our bot /select. As you can see, the only document that we have previously inserted shows up. So let's again select all the computers inside our collection. So let's do the /select computer. As you can see, again, the only product that we have inserted shows up because it has the product name computer. But for example, if we do /select RAM, we get an empty list because we don't have a document inside our collection that has the product name as RAM. Our next command is the /update. Here we need to specify the _ID of the product, and then we need to set the new product name, new quantity, and the new status. As always, the first thing to do is to get the sender of the message. And then we split the user input by the space, like here. And then in the resulting list, which is called list of word, the second item will be the /ID of the product. But it must be converted to the object ID type, like here, because otherwise it will be a string. The second item will be the new name, the third item will be the new quantity, and the fourth item will be the new status. We then create a dictionary called new postdict by specifying all this information, and then we execute the update query using the method update1. In this method, we need to set the ID of the product and then use the keyword $set by passing new postdict like here. Lastly, we send a message to the user. So if we go to our chat with the bot, and let's say we want to update this specific product, we set /update, we copy our underscore ID, and then we set RAM, let's say 16, and let's say status, which is S. And then, as you can see, if we select again, the product is actually updated. Now, the delete command is very simple because the only thing that we need is the underscore ID of the product. So we get the list of word of the user input, always by splitting by the space, like here. And on the second item of the list of word list, there will be the /_ID. Now, we always need to cast this value to the object ID type, because otherwise it will be a string. Then we execute the delete query by using the delete one method and by passing as a parameter a dictionary with the specified ID that we want to delete. So if we go inside our Atlas database, as you can see, there is actually a product inside. So if we go to our chat and then we say /delete, and then we copy the underscore ID of our product, and then we send this command, and then of course, if we select again, the collection will be empty. And if we refresh our database, the product collection, of course, will be empty. Let's analyze now the /in command, where we can set a specific attribute, let's say the status, and the list of possible values that we want to get, for example, P and S. The first thing to do after we have got the sender of the message is to split the user input, and on the second element of the list, there will be the field to search. And from the second element onwards, there will be the list of possible values. Next, we create a dictionary called params, where we specify the field to search and the keyword $in by passing the list of values to check. We also use the createMessageSelect query function that we have already seen to parse the result list and then send it to the user. So as you can see, if we open our collection, I have already inserted a lot of products here. So if we go to our chat and then we type /in status P or R and then we press enter, as you can see, the result will be actually filtered. That was all. Today we saw how to create a bot for Telegram in Python and how to connect it to MongoDB Atlas Cloud Database. If you like the video, leave a like and subscribe. I am Alessio, and I wish you all a good day.